Warning. Warning. This is not a test. This is not a test.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome to greatness. Welcome to sadness. Welcome to craziness. Who will tame the monster known as Daytona? Find out now as we welcome you to the Mystic Racing League, live on Ballin' TV.
Drop it.
Tonight, the Mystic Racing League gets ready to go road course racing. As we get set from iRacing's virtual Daytona International Speedway, it's time for some countdown to green. As we count down the moments for the Black Diamond Designs 240 here on Ballin' TV. Tonight should be an interesting night, to say the very least, for these drivers as they battle around the road course here in Daytona Beach, Florida. I'm Justin Prince. Alongside me is Sky Shrek, DJ Live producing for tonight's coverage with cameras provided by Whiplash Sim Cams. It should be an interesting night, to say the very least, Sky. And now it's the matter of seeing who's the best going left and right.
That it is. These drivers not particularly used to road courses here in the Mystic Racing League. We've seen some spins all throughout practice, all throughout qualifying. In fact, some drivers have had 10 plus incidents just in the quali session. It's getting crazy out there already. You can see our schedule right now. We're at Daytona this week, and we'll be going right back to the road course next week in Chicago. Following that up, we've got Indy, Michigan, Iowa, and another road course, Watkins Glen.
Plenty of different racetracks up on the schedule, and keep in mind, over the next month and a half, 2 months, we'll have 3 different crown jewel races, where those competitors will have a different day set and will have to run the full distance at the Brickyard for 400 miles, Darlington for 500 miles, Bristol for 500 laps as well. And it should make things interesting here in Daytona. Originally supposed to be in Mexico, but of course Mexico City not in the sim yet. And so Daytona Beach is the choice here this evening. It says 12 plus, but we do have the NASCAR chicane on to add an additional turn to our layout tonight. So these competitors will be going around for more than 3 miles here. This road course known for the endurance racing, but NASCAR did race here for its Cup Series and a couple other series a few years ago, Sky.
Yeah, and one thing I'm noticing just from this qualifying session already is that we have already had a bunch of cars spin in that NASCAR chicane, turns 13 and 14 there on the map. That is going to be a problem spot for a lot of these drivers tonight. Expect to see a lot of spins and a lot of issues in that area. It's a very tight corner. It's a pretty awkward one as well, and we might see some moments, especially early in the race when the field is packed together.
Mind you, this is a look at the playoff standings. So far, amongst these drivers since Nashville, 5 competitors have locked still for the postseason. Reggie Kime holds onto the cut line by 13 points. Zach White is the first driver out, but he has been on the rise with some decent runs as of late. It's just been about surviving when it comes to the 77 camp. Andrew Allen, still the highest ranked driver in points, who has yet to get a win in 2025 in the MRL. So a decent amount of speed, and Evan Janik, mind you, at top of the board when it comes to the standings. Your road course reigner for many of the races this season, the 71, should be fast tonight.
He should be. Looking at our qualifying results, he's right up at the top of the board, so I expect Janik to have a great run through tonight's race. This race is going to be 42 laps. The stages will come on laps 10 and laps 20. These drivers are going to have 4 tire sets in the pits tonight, 5 total, 60% fuel limit, and a fast repair if you need it. Would not be surprised if we see a couple drivers need it here after the first few laps. Qualifying just wrapping up now, and in only a couple seconds, we'll get the grid up for you for tonight's race at the Daytona Road Course.
An interesting night ahead of us here at Daytona. The Black Diamond Designs 240, once again, from the Daytona International Speedway Road Course. Drivers have already finished up the qualifying session. 24 entrants made their way to Daytona for tonight's race, and it's a cloudy one, mind you, on the weather conditions. So, here's a look at your grid tonight. Evan Janik on the pole. Andrew Allen will start in second spot this evening. The spread was about a second or so. Rayshawn Winkfield, Jackson Hatawa will start in the top 4 positions. Next up in the running order, Christian Barnes and Alex Pollock in your top 6. Pollock driving the Black Diamond Designs machine. Then you have, it's going to be the 33 of Nelson there. And alongside him is Michael Wade making an appearance. Rather, that's going to be Michael Cole, rather, in terms of that running order. Then it'd be McKay and Wade in terms of the lineup.
Yeah, starting out back in 11th tonight, we're going to have Jeffrey Fisher in the 22 car. Alan Zukov in the 91 rolls off P12. Aaron Esp in the 16 rolls off 13th. Reggie Kime in the 9 in 14th. 15th tonight will be Zach White in the 77. He is the last car to take a quali time. Everybody else did not. 16th, Isaac Wilson in the 93. The 47 to David Moyer rolls off P17. Joshua Gillen on his outside in the 10. And the last 2 cars in your top 20 will be Brett Rinn in the 24 and Caleb Hunt in the 78.
Towards the back of the field, Joshua Thornton will start alongside Harold Tucker III. The 23rd position will be Jared Knopfsnyder this evening. Knopfsnyder starts alongside Stephen Gill, who will start at the tail here at Daytona. We do have a lot of EOL penalties, though, amongst your list of EOL drivers this evening. It includes Evan Janik, Reggie Kime, Joshua Gillen, Brad Nelson, amongst the list, as well as Jeffrey Fisher. So a fair amount of drivers will have to start at the tail end of the field, including your pole sitter, who's been rapid on the road courses, as we take a look at the weather conditions.
Yeah, Janik 1.2 faster in qualifying, so he's now going to have to drive his way all the way up through this 24-car field to see if he can get the win tonight. Temperature outside, 81. Track temp, 90 degrees. Could be a little worse. It was a little worse in practice and qualifying, but with some cloud cover over the racetrack right now, overcast skies are keeping that down. If the track does start to heat up, the clouds do start to clear over the course of the session, we might see some different racing. Janik We're going to do an extra lap around here because we've got to make sure Janet can get to the back. But once we do that extra lap, we will be green at Daytona.
Have to make sure everything's right in terms of the field order, absolutely. As most drivers with the EOL have served it, except for the 71. We'll see what he does here as they'll have an additional pace lap. Going to be a few more minutes here. So overall, what are your keys to a good race here tonight as we take a look at some of the drivers?
It's all about consistency here tonight. That's a big thing for everybody. You can have a spin and you can ruin your race off that. The winner of this race is going to be nearly perfect. I think it might be like Sonoma, where you can have some moments and still get a top 4 or 5 finish, but you're not going to win the race if you have some moments. You need to be able to keep it clean, keep it steady, stay up front the whole night, and if you do that, you'll have a shot at it.
Now, warning on the radio, car 71 must drop to the tail. Janik has not served it yet and now is going to do it, coming into the International Horseshoe. So it looks like he's gotten the message about the EOL now. That should elevate Rayshon Winkfield and Andrew Allen to the front row. Alex Pollock, most of those who commented before tonight in our YouTube section this evening, that they were feeling not the most confident. Can't wait to be 15th. 2 laps down, 5 laps down actually. Hey, you never know what can happen tonight. After all, he is starting now with the elevation of the penalties to the top 5.
Yeah, this could be a pretty crazy race tonight. I think it'll get a little calmer as we head into the race, but if you remember Sonoma, there was chaos basically all throughout that one. No matter where you looked in the field, someone was going around, someone was in the fence, someone was hitting another car, someone was getting way loose out of the S's. It was crazy all race long. Not sure if we'll see as much of that at the Daytona Road Course. It's not as tricky of a road course in these Cup cars, although there are certainly some spots like right here in Turn 6 where you can loop it if you're not careful. I think a lot of the chaos is going to come early race, where drivers are trying to navigate this pretty narrow racetrack alongside 24 other cars.
So Joey Fisher's look amongst drivers starting towards the tail here tonight. Bit of a shaky cam for the Colorado-based paint scheme. Coming to green. Drivers will get to double up after Le Mans. That's what race control just confirmed here. Confidence levels are mixed as said here. It's going to be interesting. Drivers fare out over the course of this stage here. Outside of Janik, who else you're keeping an eye on, you think, here tonight that might be able to go left and right and do so fast?
Some drivers have been having good runs recently. Rayshon Winkfield, Jackson Hautala. Both of them have done pretty good on the ovals. We'll see how that translates over to the road courses. Andrew Allen had a pretty good run last time out when we were at Sonoma. Evan Janik dominated that race, but Allen turned in a pretty respectable podium finish. We'll see if he can repeat that tonight, especially since he's starting a full field away from Evan Janik in last.
It's going to get interesting here tonight in terms of this running order. We're happy with us for tonight's coverage of the Black Diamond Designs 240 on TV. Here with the coverage for this evening's action. Black Diamond Designs also the sponsor for replays here this evening. They come up to the start box. It's going to be Winkfield elevated to the front row, Allen on the outside for this start. Oh, we have some massive gaps in the field here. Green flag is out, and we're underway. Yes, we are. Allen with the run outside.
Yeah, we had some problems getting through that chicane for a couple cars further back in the field, and that really stacked everybody up. For now, though, the focus is on the battle up front, as we've already got some tight racing between Barnes and Allen, and a car big into the inside wall, and a car big around up front. Christian Barnes goes around from the top 3. He's now in the grass. One of a couple cars spun out early in this race. They're wrecking way further back, about halfway through the horseshoe, too. Joshua Gillen, Stephen Gill involved, and there goes the 24 as well. That's Brett Rinn. A lot of chaos early.
Everyone's got the spinnies here all of a sudden. Black Diamond Designs replay. in full force as Barnes wheel hops and loops it.
Alex Pollock just wrecked as well. That's another car around from the top 5.
Absolute calamity starting things off. As you mentioned, Pollock amongst those with troubles. It's already turning chaotic. Allen holds on a lead and never
29
crash.
into the wall.
Seen that
Joshua
too.
Thornton.
Yeah, we've both seen it at the same time. Thornton towards the back, also just had a spin. Everybody else just trying to hold on. Already big packs growing in the field. Wilson, also higher up in practice, looking to make a move, cuts to the grass instead, misses, parts the bus stop.
Still makes it to the corner pretty all right. Might have a slowdown penalty there, though. That remains to be seen. Evan Janik already up in P11, making a good run. P10 now, making a good run through the field in the early stages of this race as he tries to mount his charge back up to the front. Up front, it's still Andrew Allen clear by half a second over Wingfield.
Craziness so far. Gil Munsell's with troubles. Tucker to the third did not get fired off from the start. Janik is moving ahead. Gil's just pulled the car down. More trouble for Barnes. Looks like a couple other cars joining him right down pit road. Moyer and Brad Nelson both having issues there.
Joshua Thornton has already got a black flag, and oh, that was some big contact for Zach White. Just got sent hard into the inside wall through the chicane as we watch Barnes trying to get on pit road here. He stopped, he's waiting for everyone to get through. That's what triggers that accident. He'll come out now. I feel like we can't go about 4 seconds here before I'm seeing somebody else wreck. Ooh. Big gaps opening in the field already because Allen and Wingfield are racing each other, and it's already 4 seconds back to Hautala. The chaos has begun in full force. Janik is going to need to overcome a 17-second deficit because he got punted into turn 1 in an accident involving Caleb Hunt.
Yes, indeed, and now this is going to be interesting for the rest of this race. Remember, he's got the stages that's going to help him with the deficits here. Stage at lap 10, mind you. Let's take a look at what you're referring to with the 71 here as Janik takes a poke. Everyone has chaos around him. They have to dodge, all with a battle.
This is coming down into turn 1 here. He's going to get a little bit of contact. Oh, Alex Pollock just went around again in real time. He's going to get a little bit of contact with the 48 of Cole here. That hooks the 78 straight into Janik, clobbers that left rear, and around he goes.
That car significantly wounded, still in 9th position for now. We'll see if there's any chance of a recovery there quickly in this stage, or if it's going to have to wait for a while. All that's while the leaders are keeping buttoned up on the pylon too, by the way. Allen and Wingfield remaining close. Wingfield to the inside. Trying to make it stick and steady. Nearly loops it. Allen gets the better launch. 23 of Wingfield settles down.
That gives Allen a 1 second gap there back to that 23 car after that near accident there for Rayshon Wingfield. He's going to need to calm it down, lock back in, get this battle back going. This is Alex Pollock. Had to spin a couple laps to go again, back to 14th. Now working with Aaron Esp in that 16 car. Christian Barnes will get around that 16 car as well, so he'll drop back. But we've got a car slow, that's Jared Knopsnyder. And we've got a car into the inside wall, that's David Moyer.
Some of these drivers having a hard time here. Reminder, too, that this package did receive updates in the sim recently. So it's not going to be like previous times where there isn't as much fall off. Fall off, expect to be drastic after a couple of laps. Wilson on screen, as you see, trying to take over third. It's currently about 5-6 seconds, make it 7 behind the leader. Wilson makes the dive in the forward, makes it stick. As Hautala nearly took it to the back bumper.
He was close there, but Wilson held that spot for third. No punt from Hautala, was able to keep it clean. Moving through that chicane. Wingfield has gone and taken the lead away from Allen. It was an awful corner for that 96 car, and Wakefield got clear. The 96 kind of bombing the chicane there. That was a little close, but he sticks near that 23 out of the corner. Not a great run off, but he's still going to hold that second position, as just a bad run out of the chicane hurt him. Here's Janik trying to work his way back up through the field. He's got Cole behind him and now trying to pass him. Janik will hold the spot. Fisher loose in front of him as the 71 tries to catch up. And Andrew Allen's gotten the lead back from Ray Sean Wingfield. That 23 car missed turn 1.
Yeah, they're making mistake after mistake, aren't they, amongst the front runners? Another major mistake in turn 1 where we've seen plenty of them from both Allen and Wingfield now. At this point, it's not like a game of, I can make a mistake, can you do it better?
Hautala also lost 4th position after a big run wide through turn 1, so that seems to be a little bit of a problem spot here already this race for some of these drivers. 1, 6, and that kind of NASCAR chicane have been a real problem, as we've got that 3 car, Michael Wade, in the pits. We'll stop, he'll move on through. Stephen Gill, our first car out of the race, he's already retired.
Was that another drive through? A couple of them I've seen in this race now, including Alex Pollock, trying to get the exact reasoning for race control on that situation. Oh wow, we take a look at the 48, Michael Cole, one of the newer members of the series for MRL competition. That car already has looked like it's gone to battle so far, able to make a pass, able to move up one more spot. That's for 7th.
Car around at the back is Brett Ridden for P19. Also around at the back is David Moyer for P18. Some of those cars have really struggled today. These drivers running outside the top 15 have had a lot of problems. And I mean, you've seen just some of it here today. It's been a pretty crazy race for a lot of those cars, and they need to be able to lock it down if they hope to make it to the end tonight. Here's Jackson Hautala as he tries to pursue the 88 car of Robert McKay. McKay loose off the corner. That'll give the spot to Hautala as we head down the front straightaway.
Hautala, see him communicating on the radio. Seems laser focused because he's heading for the barrier. Good job locking it down, and there goes the spot right on back for the McKay.
That is not the first time Hautala has done that. I think it's in fact the 2nd lap in a row that Hautala has done that. So he's got to lock it down if he wants to hold in this top 5. You can see his brakes are red hot already, and that's without him making the corner. It's not been a great ride of it for that Hautala machine. You're looking a little further back here. This is the 27 car of Christian Barnes. Been in some fender benders already tonight. Started 5th, dropped back to 11th, but he's still rolling it as you see the leaders go through in the background there.
Race leaders, how they're looking right now, half a second separation. Right now turning 1 minute 56s. Janik's running a second quicker than him at the moment for comparison. So far, you have to remember Allen's been decent on the road courses when we've ran him this season. He's usually been 2nd or 3rd spot. Right now looking very steady as Wingfield just made a mistake in the background to grow the gap now for Chevy Guy.
Went way wide in that chicane, and that'll cost him about a 1.5 seconds in comparison to that 96 car. Andrew Allen got a good lead, and Janik is starting to close, but maybe not as much as he'd want. Only down to a 15-second gap there as he approaches that battle of Hautala and McKay back there for P4 at the moment. That's your closest battle on the racetrack as Hautala. Oh, here comes Janik. He's trying to pass him. Contact between those two cars. And Janik has P5. I don't think Hautala will be very happy about that one, though.
Now just received the official clarification on why some drivers keep on peeling down for drive-through penalties. Anyone that cuts the bus stop or the chicane must remain all 4 tires of the racing service. If you take off the 4 tires, that means you have to drive through. Janik was flying his way through that chicane. And hello, able to make the move.
He got around him. Christian Barnes now has gone up 2 spots. He's gotten around. Oh, we got a car around. That's Jared Knopsnyder. He was in the pits a lap ago, and now he's already around. Not ideal for him. As I was saying, Christian Barnes has picked up 2 spots past Alan Zukov and Caleb Hunt there in that 27 car, although big wide through turn 1. Alan Zukov gets the spot back for P9. And now Barnes is going to try to force it up the inside potentially here. Yes, he will. Now Zukov runs wide off the racetrack, and Barnes is right back to P9. And now Barnes is around! So Zukov is right back to P10, and Hunt is P9.
Everybody's having a hard time keeping it steady. You have to keep the throttle motions very steady here. And a lot of people are responding with tire spin, tire spin, tire spin, more tire spin. And that doesn't work out well here. No incident limit for this series. But at this point, everyone's trying to make sure they get the high score.
Oh, and Knopsnyder just went around in front of your leader, and that is going to slow up Winkfield because he's kind of stalled in the middle of the racetrack. Winkfield is going to actually gain time on Allen because he had it even worse after that spin from Knopsnyder. It got him way out of sorts. He clipped the apron, got loose out of the corner. So Winkfield closes in the gap down to 1 second now, up or down from the 2.5 that it was prior to that moment.
Everything coming unstable when it comes to these runs. Lap traffic is ahead of the race leader here too. You see the look from Allen. That's Gillen. No issues this time. Zach White is the next one up on lap traffic. We have less than 5 to go on the stage. In fact, 4 to go in stage 1 as we turn.
Ooh.
And
no. We're wrecking ahead of these leaders too. You're going to see Wingfield come up on some chaos. Here you go. This is what Wingfield and Gillen were getting scared by. There was a big mess involving Isaac Wilson. It looked like David Moyer potentially and a couple other cars who were kind of sideways in the corner as Wingfield approached them. Wingfield now caught Allen coming out of turn 6. And he's going to fall behind him, but this is a wild one already.
Well, Gillen, as you've seen on the top bar, mentioned this is a second race in a row on a controller tonight. Well, running the racetrack on a controller on iRacing is an experience. I didn't say positive. It takes a lot of talent to run a controller. Like the controller guy from the years past of the iRacing service 5 years ago, it takes precision. These drivers right now in the race lead, still Allen over Winkfield after getting their way to the minefield. Not too much traffic to deal with for the time being outside of one lapper pretty soon. Clean traffic to be able to battle it out for the next 3 laps.
Isaac Wilson is starting to close on these top 2 cars. Gap is down to 4.7 for that 93 machine. So is Evan Janik as these 2 cars run into issues with lappers. Janik has that gap down to 10 seconds. He's the fastest car on the racetrack, and he's making great time in that 71 car, rapidly approaching your top 2.
See those moves so far. Janik not going to show up on that pylon since it was an EOL penalty for his circumstances. In stage 2, he should be perfectly fine in terms of battling for the race lead here with the gaps going to close up. So right now, looking very solid right now when it comes to his race here, to say the very least. So it's going to get interesting for the rest of the field how they're going to plot and plan this out though as they go on, because obviously some of these drivers still trying to learn and process things as time goes on with this new update in the past week or so.
Second car out of the race is Jared Knopsnyder in the 82. He's dropped out tonight. And it looks like Brett Rinn in the 24 might be your third. 3 cars likely out of the race here with some major difficulties tonight for all of those drivers. You've seen them around or in the wall a few times here already. Battle rages for the lead, and we've got a lap car up in front of him that might throw in some problems. That is Joshua Thornton in the 29. Not known for being an easy lap car to pass, so we'll see if Andrew Allen can get around him here along with Winkfield. And Thornton is going to let him by here down into the chicane. Well, he'll let Allen by. He's going to give Winkfield some problems. That'll slow up that 23 car, and he's way loose out of the corner, has to slam the brakes. That catches out Winkfield, and he loses 2 seconds.
Yet again, the interval grows as a result of mistakes building with traffic. Pit road closed, by the way. 2 laps to work with as SB comes out of the grass. Winkfield forced to park it yet again. That cost him another second.
He's having some real issues with these lap cars between SB and that was Thornton, who got into him a little earlier there. It has been not a good race for some of these lap cars in the way of the 23 car. Isaac Wilson continues to gain as a result. He's picked up 1.7 seconds to Rayshawn Winkfield just over the course of this battle, although he is dealing with some lap issues of his own, because now he's got Thornton right between him and Winkfield, and he needs to get around that 29 car if he wants to catch the 23.
No cautions, remember, tonight when it comes to the stages here. It's got the confirmation for tonight for this race. We do have some people pitting, and Fisher also had a spin and a burnout for Caleb Hunt at the start and finish line. But outside of that, it's going to get interesting for Janik if he can close and be able to chip away here now with that interval to think about. Wilson doing a good job being able to keep himself within Winkfield's range.
It's not ideal for Caleb Hunt here, as he was doing pretty well here. He was running up there in that top 7 or 8 cars. We'll drop back to 11th now after that spin. One of a few cars who's getting not too far away from being lapped here in the not too distant future. You see that 33 car of Brad Nelson has some damage on that thing as he tries to catch up to Caleb Hunt. Battle for second is on, and Winkfield is around out of the corner. 23 car blows through the NASCAR chicane into the inside wall. He's now going to have to do a drive-through, and Isaac Wilson is promoted to second.
Big mistake there as the Black Diamond Designs replay comes out. Locked up for about a mile. It slams hard to the barrier. He is elected to come down pit road and take the faster pair with how much he botched the corner there.
Not good for that 23 car. We'll see some scheduled green flag stops today with a 60% fuel load. Expect a couple pit stops out of these drivers. Winkfield making his first right there, and I think he's going to take the faster pair on that one. Yes, he will. So 4 tires and a faster pair for Rayshawn Winkfield. He'll get it out with no damage, but he needs to make sure no more mistakes.
Should be worth noting we have a couple slow cars that are all over the racetrack. The 77 and the 47 could be trouble for some of your leaders right now in the final corners. They just cut several corners with significant damage. Looks like they will make the safety of pit road, though. Was just ahead of where we're looking at some of these drivers. Reggie Kime just cut the corner. Joshua Gillen just hit a meatball flag. This is all while we end the stage right this time by with Allen with the dominant run.
Robert McKay just took a massive chunk out of the grass and almost came back on the track into Rayshawn Winkfield. That was a close one. This is Joshua Gillen here in the 10 car with that meatball flag. Big hit to that tire barrier, and that will do it.
That's going to cause him to have to use the faster pair. There's McKay up through Narnia. This could get bad. Oh my goodness, he's lucky there's not an air car right there. He just about hit Winkfield with that slide.
Yeah, that Black Diamond Designs replay really showed you that slide there. And it's been like that all over the racetrack. We've had so many near misses already. I'm kind of surprised none of the leaders have taken too much damage from the lap car, because we have certainly had some close shaves with these cars up front. We've got more lap cars up the road. Alex Pollock, his prediction wasn't it 15th, 5 laps down? Well, he's 14th right now, so he'll be hoping to do a little better so that prediction doesn't come true. Michael Wade, 13th, Caleb Hunt, and Reggie Kime back here as well, close to getting lapped in that battle. So these drivers at the front of the field, like Andrew Allen, are going to have to come up on more lap traffic before long. I'm really impressed at how well Allen has been holding off Janik. That gap has been steady at about 10 or 11 seconds now for the last 4 or 5 laps.
So once again, Andrew Allen picking up the stage. Wilson, Janik, Hatawa, Winkfield for your top 5 for the stage points here tonight. Continue on here with the race, coming to 31 laps to go. Result here. So, looking like things are in control for the 96 as a result here, because the interesting with all that damage, 71 has not been able to progress forward. He's been stuck 12 seconds back of the race leader. So the driver who dominated the last time we see the road course that comes to memory, not been able to move forward. It's been quicksand for him.
No, Janik has very much been struggling. Just with that damage that he got in that big accident, it's really hurt his ability to make time in this race car. That's what's got him stuck back in third. I wouldn't be surprised if he takes a faster pair here under a future caution and try to get that thing back going. Isaac Wilson, one of your leaders, now makes the move down pit road for what I believe is a regularly scheduled pit stop in that 93 car. Yep, he is in the box. He is getting tires on that thing, and he will come out. Should be around 5th.
That service screen completed. Let's see where this cycles. Wilson should cycle in front of Wakefield, and as a result of all the mistakes from before, he will by a couple seconds or so. So long as he doesn't get held up by traffic with the 10. So difficult to make sure you don't speed into the concrete barrier. A couple different drivers have done that this race. As Wilson officially cycles ahead, now looks to attack the traffic.
He'll try to get around Gillen here, but he is going to be on cold tires on a fairly cold racetrack for the Daytona Road Course, so he's got to watch out for that. 48 car in the pits. That's Michael Cole. Haven't talked much about him. He's had a very quiet race. Hasn't been in too many accidents. That's kept him up there for now. Oh, contact. Pollock just turned Reggie Kime for 12.
So a lot of chippiness going on for some of the drivers right now. Let's take a look what happened here. Black Diamond Designs replay. This is Pollock. He's right now one of the last cars on the lead lap as they run. Had been lapped by the leader in the past moments or so. This is why. Well then.
That is right in front of your leader as well. The 96 of Andrew Allen just barely snuck through that.
All the more reason to have more issues as Evan Janik has just peeled down pit road. And up to second with the cycle now. So more drivers completed their services here. Let's see that up on the pylon as 71 rolls the first pit stall here. And of course, with the series, fixed setup's not going to be able to really adjust much. I believe he may have accidentally used a faster pair there because he just had the front bumper cleaned up. We'll see if that fixes the damage or not as he's off and away.
He is showing on my scoring monitor that he has not used that fast repair. So maybe it was a kind of iRacing 10 seconds of damage deal that got worked on during the pit stop. Not sure there, but it's showing that he has not used it, and he will come out 4th behind Wilson, but ahead of Rayshawn Winkfield, who's going to be right on the bumper, near contact, working down into the horseshoe here. Winkfield goes wide. Janik holds the spot.
Winkfield cues up on the radio. There is the faster pairs used. Wilson's used one. Winkfield's used one. Cole's the next use, followed by Wade, and then a lot of people towards the rear end of the field have used them. So indeed, Janik apparently got the car cleaned of all the scuffs from the front bumper over the course of the pit stop service. Barnes is also in this time by 27 in for service. Did not take the faster pair, so he's keeping it in the bank.
McKay also coming into the pits. I think at this point it's kind of easier to tell you the cars that have stayed out. It's Andrew Allen, Jackson Hautala 1 and 2, Alan Zukov still out on track in 9th, and Reggie Kime still rolling in 13th. Everybody else it either has come down, and Andrew Allen will come down now as Brett Rinn loops it in the back. Andrew Allen is into the pits.
Pit stop service scheduled for the 96. No issues to get on the marks. Looks like a good spot for it. Brad Nelson finishes up service, and you see Allen taking the opportunity to stay hydrated here during the pit stop service. Is tonight the night he picks up his first win of the season to lock his ticket into the postseason? It's looking like one of those nights.
He's running well right now. He'll come out of the pits about 7 seconds ahead of Isaac Wilson in the 93 car and about 10 ahead of Evan Janik in the 71 with a couple laps better tires than those cars. Hautala now in. He will drop back to the 5th position with a clean stop here, meaning it appears to be just Zukov, Pollock, and Reggie Kime, 9th, 10th, and 13th, still out on track.
All settling in, making sure there's no issues with the traffic here. Oh, and a bit of a traffic jam. In fact, with this move, the 22. Fisher laps down Hatawa, losing ground off the exit here. Still going to be potentially comfortable for the top 5 here. There he goes to make the move quickly. So a lot of separation building up here already, almost a third the way through this stage with how things are going here. So what's on your mind now that you've been racing for a lengthy amount of time? We've seen some chaotic moments. We've seen also the intervals really spread apart here.
What's on my mind is that Hautala has just come out 38 seconds back of your leader. That is a huge gap for that 09 car. Problems over the course of that run and that pit stop really, really hurt Hautala, and he's going to have it all to do here just to stay on the top 5, really, as Allen, Wilson, Janik, and Wingfield are all kind of pulling away in your top 4. I think we've seen this race calm down a lot. There's a lot less spins. Even the drivers at the back are starting to kind of get the handle on this racetrack and being a little more consistent out here. Drivers up front, though, still dealing with some lap traffic.
Plenty of it. Cole amongst the drivers you see on screen running 8th. Make an appearance here tonight in this series. He's amongst the drivers who he's mentioned took the faster pair so far. He is running on average about 2-minute 2s the past 5. Janik, drive through. He had been under 9 seconds on the deficit. Not anymore. There's another mistake that's going to put him outside the top 3.
And that's a huge mistake for Evan Janik in that 71 car. That'll really set him back on this race. He'll drop back about 10 seconds behind Wingfield, and he'll come out 21 behind Allen in his quest to win his 7th race of the season. The car that was so dominant in previous road course races this season is going to have a long, long hill to climb if he wants to catch our dominant car, Andrew Allen.
So a lot of separations with this field now, and it's going to be almost the matter of making sure you keep your paces and keep your focus forward here for many of these drivers. Seeing a lot of burnouts because someone just had an issue in the in and out, but for a lot of these competitors, this is where the practice comes in. Being able to run laps, log laps, be able to close intervals. There's a lot of diversity in lap times right now as Cale Punk gets a black flag.
That, I believe, is for speeding into the pit lane. Yes, it is. They're not speeding in the pit lane. He's speeding in the pit lane. Gassed it up a couple miles an hour too hot. Whoa! Big moment there for the 3 car and a meatball for Brett Rinn in the 24 machine. So as the 96 navigates the 3 car there are Michael Wade going a lap down. It's been a big moment for Brett Rinn in the 24. Trying to find... Oh, that occurred right on exit. He missed the chicane, ramped the curb, and went head-on into the inside wall.
Still following along with Allen, mind you. Let's talk him through the lap a little bit. The horseshoes, one of the areas where you need to be careful on the brakes with the right-handers that you have to work through. A lot of drivers in some league action earlier this week in Moonshiners use the diamond line to be able to get a good run to the international horseshoe. Then there's this jog up to the kink before you have to work your way to the west horseshoe. West Horseshoe requires some more braking, but a lot of drivers setting up a half a lane or so. You get the run for the corner exit before you get to the in and out around this racetrack. And with the in and out, you have to be very precise. There's a lot of chance for tire spin or chances to hit the tire barrier here. That's before you go full throttle through portions of this racetrack. That run to the bus stop on the back straightaway, also tricky because of the safety curbing.
It's pretty simple through here. Flat out, turn it a little bit left, but it gets a lot trickier once you head down the back straightaway towards this chicane. Allen's going to drop down into here, get the car woed up big time. Still dealing with that lap car of the 33 of Brad Nelson, but he holds the spot for now over that 33 car. He doesn't get in the back of that 33 car. He is one lap ahead of him at the moment, or he will be if he can actually get around this car. Black flag Brett Wren at the back as Allen comes up onto the NASCAR chicane here. Maybe the toughest corner on this racetrack. Really awkward. You got to get it all the way slowed down, and if you hit the curbs, it can be very, very easy to lose it. But Allen will make it through just fine, and he'll get around that 33 car as he takes the flag there.
Able to settle in, surrounded by traffic right now. Had more issues for drivers like Pollock. That's because Pollock stopped on the racetrack. See him going to be zooming around for the outside of the bus stop. Believe he's now picked up some more issues. So, one of these drivers continuing to try and settle things out. Let's take a look at some replays.
Michael Wade here in the 3 car. See what he does coming out of the chicane. Going, whoa, ramping those curbs. There's a 29 of Thornton, gets around him on the top lane. All right, yeah, it could be really interesting here. When you go over those curbs, those sausage curbs can get you some airtime. I would like to note the black flag for Brett Wren is going to be a very substantial one, because instead of exiting the pits, he kind of just went straight through the pit exit, skipped the entire infield portion of the track, and then continued running the oval as if it never happened. So that is going to be likely a several minute hold for that 24 car.
He almost wrecked 1 or 2 cars on the way to doing so too. Just straight up decided to not take the in and out and take the racetrack like it's the super speedway. This is a very dangerous play.
Yeah, you'll see him coming down here. This is actually, I think, the lap after. We'll see if he takes it this time or if he just blows through it again. He'll just blow through it again. So that's the second time blowing straight through the infield for Brett Wren. That is going to be, I said it might be a 2-lap hold. He did it twice. That might be a 4-lap hold at this rate.
Surprised it's not disqualification. Just straight up floored it around the racetrack. Now the bus stop, a little bit more difficult to do that with.
Andrew Allen. Whoa, big moment with him and Joshua Gillen in the 10 car. Near contact for those two. Get a replay on that here pretty soon. Gillen was way off the gas down going into turn 1, and Allen has to take evasive action there to stay out of the back of the 10 car. And then there's a little contact as Allen comes back onto the racetrack.
Some of these drivers having a lot of difficulties making sure they stay on the racetrack. We're coming up to 2 to go in the stage points, by the way. Top 5 basically the same as they were just about running before, outside of the penalty for Janik. It's been able to trim the gap down to 18 seconds again with personal bests.
Had a 2-car accident back here. Joshua Thornton, Jeffrey Fisher through the chicane. Those are 2 cars who are running a little further back. Actually, it was a 1-car accident. Thornton locked it up and made it look like a 2-car accident, but we'll see it again here. Thornton is going to roll down through the chicane here on the front stretch, and he's just going to loop it around. Gets it back going, but that car has had some problems all night. It's a big lockup in, and there he goes. Meatball David Moyer. He was also running further back in the field. Wonder what happened to that 47 car.
Another incident. They just keep stacking up like Legos. I'm not sure what's going on there with Moyer. He was already 8 down. I think he blew the motor.
Well, this is going to be kind of a two-parter here, and it's a really weird accident if we do find it. Zach Moyer completely blows the backstretch chicane. At the same time he blows the chicane, Zach White spins it, exiting the chicane, and spins it directly into David Moyer, and it blows his motor.
Well, then it's all you can really say. We just had Reggie Kaimoso block the track and nearly wreck 2 cars. There's a lot going on, is what I'm trying to say. David Moyer just parked for the night. So, Wilson's doing a solid job holding on the second step of the podium as we run, though. He's been one of the drivers decent when it comes to the road courses this season. Of course, we've seen one of his teammates earlier this campaign outright dominate a road course with this speed at Coda. Janik had been up there with that said driver, but good the next time out. Janik right now under 15 seconds or so. It's now down to about 13.4. So it is being chipped away here.
We're almost at the halfway point in this race. It's lap 19 right now out of 42 tonight. And Andrew Allen continues to hold an 8.5 second lead. He over Isaac Wilson in P2. Rayshawn Wingfield running P3. Evan Janik, P4, trying to close in on that 23 car. He'll get there pretty soon, I think. Jackson Hautala, 5th. Robert McKay, 6th. Christian Barnes, 7th. Michael Cole, 8th. Your last cars on the lead lap. Brad Nelson, 9th. Alan Zukov in P10 at the moment in this field. And a meatball for Caleb Hunt. He has had his race go from bad to worse here.
Even doing loop-de-loops and burnouts all throughout this race tonight. I believe he's parked it. He's out of the cockpit after a crash in the bus stop.
Yep, just looped it through the bus stop. Big hit
Oh,
the wall. Yeah, we've got 2 there. Aaron S. has elected to leave the session tonight. He's parked it. Brett Rinn has been disqualified from the race and removed from the session.
Still have a lap to go in the stage, but pending any mistakes, this should be the banner. Andrew Allen right now leading comfortably up front. The gap is 8.7, 8.8 seconds for Chevy Guy. It's been his type of night so far. Now the question is going to be, can Janik close up the gap of 14 seconds here?
Well, right now he is, because the fastest car, or the fastest lap of the race, really, last time around was just ran by Evan Janik. He ran a 1:54.853. He's got about like 8 laps on these tires now, and he just ran the fastest lap anyone's ran all night. So speed in that 71 car as we come up on the halfway point of this race. And as Wingfield locks it up into the corner, that'll give Janik even more of a chance to close this gap.
Oh, these are stacking up here. Is that a disqualification, Brett Wren? So
yeah,
Wren.
I'm assuming that is going to be for him blowing the infield 2 times.
Me too. He did have a 7-minute penalty. That's what he confirmed. He thought it was the Daytona 500, he claimed. You forgot about the barriers down the back straightaway?
I'm going to say not his best defense, considering he did remember it was the Daytona 500 for the first 18 laps of this race. But, hey, we got it going. He has been removed from the session after that, and yeah, we'll see if he's back next week after blowing that twice. Andrew Allen is going to come around here to take lap 21 halfway through this race. He'll also win the stage tonight in that 96 car. Winner of stage 1, winner of stage 2, and Evan Janik has just passed Rayshawn Wingfield for P3.
Impressive drive, impressive recovery, ending the stage here.
We might need a replay on that pass because it was far from clean.
Allen, Wilson, Janik, Wingfield, Hatawa. Here's to be the top 5. Let's take a look at what happened and talk us through what you've seen in the Black Diamond Designs replay.
Yeah, this is Janik entering the NASCAR chicane, kind of down on the front stretch here. He does a very late dive down into the corner as he's coming up on Rayshawn Wingfield. You'll see it right here as we enter that chicane. Janik's running all the way to the wall. He pulls a move up the inside and just gets into the door of Wingfield. That 23 car has to slow all the way up, and Janik drives away.
Janik now looks to settle on in here. Nearly had some mistakes the last corners. Still keeping on chugging along, as it appears Wilson may have just lost a lot of ground. Yes, he did have a lockup. That's why there was a smoke puff coming out of the in and out. Scuffed up the left side tires, and remember, once major slide or spin or anything like that, you can kiss 10% of your tires goodbye.
Oh, yep, there he goes. That was a big slide through that corner. Had to get it all the way locked down there. That is going to really hurt the tires of Isaac Wilson, like you said, and it's going to make him very susceptible to that hard-charging 71 car of Evan Janik, who's now only 2.4 behind.
That leaves just green flag racing from here, mind you. That is going to be more than double our other stages here in terms of distance. We do have a flurry of pit stops for drivers underway. Jeffrey Fisher, Zach White, and a few other lappers just completed their service here. So it's going to get interesting on a couple of the margins here possibly. We're looking at pit stops right now for drivers every 10 to 12 laps. These teams might be pitting with under 10 laps to go for final service if they keep on the rhythm here.
Isaac Wilson, your car with the most positions gained tonight, has gone 16-2, although I think in reality it might be Evan Janik who started at the back with that EOL and has gone to third. He's not on there because he scored a starting on pole, but he has gone to the front. No car around there in front of your second place driver. That is the 3 of Michael Wade with a little bit of self spin, but he'll keep it back rolling. Your other big movers, Joshua Thornton, plus 9 at this stage in the race. He's gone from 21 to 12.
See them all trying to make their way around this racetrack efficiently as they can. It looks like we've had an issue for Fisher again, as he's now got himself into the tow. Can confirm he just parked it after a spin with the 3. Yes, nice paint scheme for Thornton. It's a different look from earlier portions of the season. Lots of chrome on the 29.
A lot of chrome and looked like a little bit of dirt there for a second, but that's just the iRacing paint scheme having a moment. 29 has had an interesting race. He's 12th right now. He's the last car 1 lap down. He's been in a couple accidents, but I think it could have overall been worse for that car. We got a battle brewing up front here as Janik is within 1 second of Isaac Wilson in that 93 car, closing that gap as he tries to get back to second and mount the charge back up to Isaac Wilson, your race leader. Rayshawn Winkfield into the pit lane.
So the pit window's open for the main leaders now in this field. Field so far has already taken significant repairs from some hits in this race. Looking with the service right now to be able to get himself back on the racetrack, get himself some good points, go from there. All while Janik still trails 15 seconds. It's been equalizing out at around this point on the interval when it comes to the runs here. That's the tough thing. It's hard to gain the ground, the fall off for some of these drivers upwards of near a second plus as the night's going on. All this while, we'll take a quick break. We're under 20 laps to go here from Daytona. Black Diamond Designs racing action continues. The Black Diamond Designs 240 here on the Mystic Racing Link continues after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Daytona. More coverage of the Black Diamond Signs 240 from Mystic Racing League here on Ballin TV. Cup Series continuing as pit stops are in full bloom at the World Center of Racing. Just for Sky Shrek here with you for tonight's action. The fans continue to watch with intrigue on these strategies as they play out here. And I can tell you this, we're looking at for some of these teams here, Sky, pit stops with about maybe 4 laps to go to close it out. It's going to be tightly confined in terms of some of the pit stops because some of these drivers only making up to 13 laps for the limit.
Yeah, we're heading down to the end of this race here, so the battles at the front are only going to tighten up. Reggie Kime now making that turn down into the pit lane. See if anyone else joins him. Winkfield and Wilson have both come down over the last few laps, along with McKay and Cole. But your top two of Allen and Janik continue to run. I'm interested in seeing if Winkfield on these fresh tires is actually able to pull the undercut on Janik by the time that car comes out of the pits. Right now, the answer is looking like it might be yes, and he might have that second spot.
Right now looking like things are steadying out for the time being for some of these drivers. Interval between Winkfield and Wilson, mind you, 4 seconds on the racetrack. They run a Winkfield last time by 1 minute 55.6. Wilson, his pit stop interval was still in the 2-minute 2s, but that should equalize this time around for an official time. All of this is being said, though, most of this field has separated out and is now just focusing on their own rhythm to close out this race here, Scott.
Yep, it's all about racing the track and less racing other drivers right now. One thing I am noticing, Rayshawn Winkfield has closed in, or he is closing in about 2 seconds a lap on Janik, as now Janik will turn into the pit lane. He will make that stop in that 71 car. Andrew Allen, now your only leader who is still out on the racetrack. And it looks like by the time Janik leaves the box and makes it out of the pit lane, that 23 of Winkfield is going to be promoted up to second. So the race is going to be on for that second position as Winkfield gets around Janik just now. Isaac Wilson might get him too. Let's see. This is going to be close off the pit lane. It looks like he'll make it out about 1.5 ahead of Wilson.
Good jump ahead by the 71. Kind of showcases the strength of the entry and to the pit lane in general. See it from Wingfield to this race. Wilson, 34.6 in the lane last time by in his pit lane. Janik, 33.8, gained about a second alone in the lane. So they'll look to settle things out. Janik is already within a couple seconds, mind you, of the 23. Also to battle for net second on the racetrack. Looks like traffic ahead. Michael Cole just trying to run his line.
This will be Michael Cole's. Actually, I think it is still his first lap down. He was just recently lapped by Andrew Allen. So this will be one lap down, getting lapped by the second place car now as well. He has made that pit stop. He was one of the first cars on this run to make that pit stop. They did about 2 laps ago now, so he has gotten 4 tires on that car, and Andrew Allen is now into the pit lane from the lead of the race. I think Wingfield and Janik will still come out behind him, but Allen, I think he's going to have a reduced gap. The question is going to be how much of that gap is actually going to be reduced.
It's going to be the huge question. Depends on how well Allen approaches the full window here. Wakefield still making his way through the final chicane. Allen has already completed the service and has made his way out of the pit lane. He's pretty sizable, pretty chunky. Check out the full interval once they hit the racetrack.
One thing that's helping Janik right now is that Wingfield was dealing with Michael Cole. The moment Wingfield got around Michael Cole, he spun. So Janik didn't have to deal with passing that car. That was able to give him about half a second off the gap, and he's used that to his advantage, closing it now down to about 6/10. Wingfield dealing with more loud traffic. It's a very wide 88 car, Robert McKay, and now the gap is down to half a second as Wilson is around in the background.
So that's going to take Wilson back out of contention for some spots just like that. At the very least, it's comfortable and then some for the 4th position, but things not looking great there. Oh! Janik turned across the nose of Wingfield. Janik holds onto it. That was down the straightaway.
Man, I'm not sure about that one. We're going to need a replay of what happened there, but I think Janik is going to be very upset with that move there from the 23 of Rayshawn Wingfield. You'll see it once again on the Black Diamond Designs replay as we exit the corner. Wingfield's already running them kind of shallow coming off, and yeah, he just kind of hooks to the right there. Turns Janik around. That'll demote Janik to 4th. Wilson's gotten back around him, and the gap for Janik is 20 seconds, and his tires are cooked.
That might take him, I think will take him out of contention for the win here. 22 seconds. Not going to be easy to close in 15 laps. Wingfield just drives away. Wingfield is chipping away to Allen, but an interesting incident as Allen still holds on to the buffer with 4 lap pressure tires.
Janik is driving like he is very upset right now. Tries to close back in this or at the current moment, trying to get that down, make that move on Wilson least. He's back to Wingfield. Wingfield is really caught up to Andrew Allen, but Janik is himself struggling to catch up to Wilson. So we'll see how this shakes out here over the rest of the race.
So the situations here continue. It's been not an ideal night for some drivers here at Daytona. Still, though, as we continue on with the race, it's going to be the matter of keeping things clean. We'll have to keep an eye on how these intervals really play out. The one thing I've noticed for a lot of these drivers, they've been having issues with the brake lockup. A lot of people have been just outright locking up the front tires all night.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of lockups. We've seen a lot of big kind of spins, loose moments that have really hurt the tires. And you've seen that come to bite drivers in the back half of the run where they just don't have the tire strength that they had in the first half of the run. Andrew Allen continues to lead this race by 7.7 seconds over Isaac Wilson. 7 seconds back to that 93 car. Janik 3 back from that 93 car. All cars pretty single file here. No battles within about a second and a half on the racetrack as these drivers are locked in for the final third of this race. We'll see if Wingfield has anything for Andrew Allen, but he pit about 3 laps earlier, and he seems to have really used up his tires in the first 3 laps of that run. So, again, use up your tires early, and it might come back to bite you by the end.
A lot of opportunities for stuff to be able to build up in this race, absolutely. Race cars right now still. Separation to give it a run down for those just tuning in. Allen, Wingfield, Wilson. Your top 3, 15 seconds separation amongst them. That is Janik 19 seconds back. Hatawa is a minute 12. Christian Barnes a minute 39. Michael Cole is amongst those a lap down in front of Robert McKay. Brad Nelson, Joshua Thornton, Alex Pollock, Alan Zukov, Reggie Kime, Michael Wade, Jeffrey Fisher, and Zach White all still running. There is a chance, I think Janik closes up. Janik was closing and overran the corner in the West Horseshoe and just spun the car out. So some of the drivers not having a fun time. Traverse the racing line.
Mistakes lead to more mistakes. Evan Janik, maybe not a mistake. He maybe got turned a little bit by Rayshawn Wingfield, but that really hurt his tires. And now he's just struggling to keep it under him. Going off track through the horseshoe, getting loose, kind of things that we haven't seen him do all night. And now that he has had that first incident, it's kind of snowballing on Janik, and he's just losing more and more time.
Snowball method not working out, to say the very least, for some drivers to be able to eliminate their mistakes. As right now, as we turn Wingfield, he just lost a mile of time and it's taken a drive-through penalty. 23, believe, involving the incident, if not one of the corner cuts again.
And that'll be devastating. Yeah, that'll be devastating for Rayshawn Wingfield.
So that's going to give Allen a dominating run. It is confirmed. Pass-through penalty for Wingfield. Just served it for aggressive driving involving the contact with the 71. So that's going to be why he'll now be out of contention for this race. Win likely. He's now getting held up by lap traffic. He runs into the back of the traffic 4 times over as several cars around him go in the grass.
That'll put him back to 4th as you see that 77 as Zach White rejoined Wingfield, now 2.4 behind Janik at the current moment. And I'm not sure if he's going to be able to close that back in after that drive-through penalty. He'll give it his best shot. We know he was faster than Janik earlier. And while Janik is struggling, Wingfield has also had some lockups, so his tires aren't in the best state either. Jackson Hautala bringing it down pit road right now. We'll see if that's a drive-through penalty or if this is a scheduled stop for that 09 car. We're right on the cusp of being able to make it to the end of the race on one more stop, but it is a drive-through for the 09. He'll stay 5th, but he is 53 seconds back of P4.
So far, right now, Hatawa, one of the drivers, at least keeping it clean this race. The outside is not close to anybody to be able to take advantage of his cleanness to keep the car steady. Did have to drive through a lap ago to add to the drive-through list at least, though. One of the drivers who hasn't had one at least is still your leader in Allen. And it's looking more and more like Allen's night to be able to control things, as it looks like we have the 71 serving the drive-through too.
Bad to worse for Evan Janik. Like you said, the mistakes just compound. They keep going. He missed the last chicane, went all 4 tires off track, and pulled it straight down into the pits for a drive-through. If he wasn't out of contention before, he absolutely is now. Back to 4th. He's about 8 or 9 seconds by the time he gets out of here behind Rayshawn Winkfield in the 23.
Dominating pace for the 96 tonight in terms of being able to keep it consistent. Chevy Guy had said in the comments throughout this race here tonight, and before the race should say, that, yeah, I'm not ready for this. Looks like they were ready for this. They are a solid road course racer in general.
Andrew Allen, he's done a great job to navigate this race. He got up front really early on, started in second, pulled around to the lead almost immediately through that first lap, and has led every lap since, has stayed out of trouble, hasn't gotten into it with any lap cars, hasn't gotten any pass-through penalties, hasn't locked it up too bad, hasn't gone for a spin, hasn't missed pit road. He's ran a technically perfect race, and that is what's up here, as that's what's got him up here when so many other cars like Wilson and Winkfield and Janik have had spins and have had to come down pit road for drive-thrus. Even when those cars have been faster on raw pace than the 96, he's kept it steady and consistent. That's what's going to get him the win here if he holds on for another 21 minutes, 11 laps.
All right, dominating run. Isaac Wilson has just gone through for a drive-through, I believe. Actually, he's gone early for a pit stop. Rayshawn Winkfield also just ducked down pit road. So the strategy may be opening up for those to make sure they can make it to the end on gas here. There's a gas and go for Wilson. Looks like Winkfield might be trying the same.
We'll see if it's gas and go or if it's 4 tires, because 4 tires can certainly make you a little faster out here. Gas and go for Winkfield as well, so he'll come off and he will take fuel only.
Quick, efficient service once again.
Evan Janik in as well in that 71 car. We'll see if he does a fuel only stop here.
Yep. Update from Adam Holston. He's not happy that he missed the race tonight, but at least he enjoyed his fishing expedition. I'm assuming fishing based on the phrasing on the top, on that top pylon there. As Janik took tires. 4 tires and fuel. So a bit of a change up for the strategy.
Well, we know he was struggling on that set of tires. It's certainly not going to help him. It certainly wasn't going to help him if he came down and took fuel only. He's got to get a little bit off strategy here if he wants to try to get a good finish out of this race. So I don't see why not at this point. I don't think he was going to get a top 3 without trying something drastic. We've had another car disqualified from the race. It is the 29 of Joshua Thornton has been DQ'd tonight. I am going to assume for some aggressive driving. Oh, it was for aggressive driving. It's because he wrecked Evan Janik last lap. That was the problem.
Wow.
We can get a replay on that. That was the reason Janik came into the pits when he did, is he got wrecked by that 29 car.
Take a look. Might need a couple tenths back there. It'll be interesting for the other side of the racetrack to see that viewpoint from where the 29 was.
Yeah, we know Joshua Thornton does not exactly like Evan Janik, as seen by him wrecking Janik from the lead at Dover about, I'd say, 3 weeks ago now. And even though Janik didn't really do anything to him tonight, he's going to turn him around anyway. And that has gotten him DQ'd from the session tonight. He was just coming back from a penalty that was served for that incident at Dover that left him suspended for a couple races, and not a great foot to come back on for that 29 car.
Yeah, I remember the words thin ice coming around with Nashville too. And well, the ice may be melting. Oh, wow. Allen continues to control things. Janik still surviving. At least we'll get a top 5. Likely, if there's no more incidents, he has Hotel within 6 seconds. There's only 5 cars in the lead lap, mind you, with how things are going. So he could still get himself a solid end to this race. Can really change depending on if there's any more attrition.
We are at 9 to go right now, and the gap is huge for Allen, albeit he has not made that pit stop yet. Last time on pit road was 7 to go, as you see how Tala in 5th navigate that lap car of Alan Zukov in the 91. Allen is still running pretty good lap times, 38.6 last time around. He's done a very good job to manage these tires, to manage his race. And I assume it'll be a gas and go for him, and he'll come out about 15 seconds ahead of Isaac Wilson when he does.
Yes, absolutely. Less than 10 to go in the race, by the way. The field continues to chug its way through. And I will say, with those taking the voluntary drive-thrus here, a lot of these teams are very willing to admit when they make mistakes at the very least. They don't want to get the gauntlet or the banhammer or anything along those lines from race control here tonight. They've been at least respecting the rules for the most part.
It hasn't been too messy of a race from a race control standpoint. A lot of the issues have kind of sorted themselves out, just kind of single car spins halfway through the field. Cars taking some detours through the grass. Nothing like that kind of Thornton incident right there. That was probably the worst of it, and I think they're going to have some reviewing to do for the Rayshon Winkfield accident with Evan Janik as well. Maybe some revenge for that bit of contact Janik threw in on him for 3rd earlier in the race, but we'll see how that shakes out in post-race review. Allen continues to hold a 42-second lead over Isaac Wilson. Even though he hasn't pit, he is faster than that 93 car. He is on it. That is a crazy lap from Evan Janik. That is a 1:53.916. That is over a second faster than any other car in the field has run the entire race. The second fastest lap being a 1:55 from Andrew Allen. Janik is 2.5 seconds a lap quicker than Allen, and while it is too little too late, he's got a full head of steam right now.
He's trying to make sure he gets the purple lap with how things are going in this one. Outright flying. That's all you can say for Janik. You would need a lot of luck to close up the Winkfield, though, to be able to get a podium finish here with how things have now turned down to this race. See him just, at this point, continuing to go hot lap with hot lap. The temperature's 90 degrees, 92 degrees track temp as we go, though. It's overcast skies still above Daytona Beach, Florida. So the temperatures staying pretty cool to be able to set some of the fastest laps we've seen in the league races this week.
You saw it on the back straightaway here. Janik is really using the curbs in that back chicane, going flying over them, leaving nothing on the track right now as he tries to just run the fastest lap times he can. Maybe in the hopes that Winkfield or someone ahead of him will make a mistake and he'll be able to claim that 3rd spot back for a podium and an interview tonight. Right now, your 6-time race winner and the dominant car this season is looking like he will finish P4 after some accidents that were his fault and some accidents that were not his fault in that 71 car. Real mixed bag of a race for him, and I'm sure he'll come away wishing he could do it over and thinking he could get a better result.
More pit stops coming around this time through. Barnes only 9 laps through his run, trying to even up the run interval this time. Towa also completed a 5-second time fuel stop. So a lot of these teams saying, no tires for me, I'm saving time for thee. Robert McKay just had a moment down the front straightaway. That's the way we'll look at him. He also took a slide through the chicanes, but keeps on chugging along right now, holding on to a top 10.
That was a scheduled pit stop for Christian Barnes. We've got a couple more cars that still need to pit. Andrew Allen obviously has not made that move down pit road yet, which is why he has the 41-second gap. Michael Cole also still out, 10 laps since his last stop, so I imagine that 48 will be in quite soon here. Also looks like Alex Pollock has stayed out, and Alan Zukov and Reggie Kime all still rolling on this strategy. As mentioned, here comes the 48 of Michael Cole, likely just adding gas in that car, needed to bring it down here this time.
Just trying to complete the service, no issue. He's 11 laps into the stint. No troubles to be able to find the pit stall, and it looks like he's just going to do the standard tires and fuel. Keep it simple. Jeffrey Fisher did the exact same thing on his pit stop too.
He's got plenty enough of a gap to do it. It's even as he exits the pits, it's still 33 seconds back to Brad Nelson, who's running 8th. It's been a very quiet race for Michael Cole, but it's been a pretty decent one. Hasn't been in any incidents. He's 7 at the moment. For a newer driver to the series, not at all a bad start here in the Mystic Racing League.
By the way, we're following along with McKay moments ago. The 2-lap down 88 machine. He slammed the wall after taking a massive slide in the bus stop chicane. Took a hard contact. Le Mans has now broken the front of the race car and is serving a drive-through. Let's take a look at what happened here on the Black Diamond Designs replay.
We'll see it for that 88 car of Robert McKay. Going to the corner right now, exiting the corner. He's got that run, a little bit of a draft from Brad Nelson up in front down the back straight, entering the chicane. Oh, he's going way hot. Way hot. He almost hits Nelson, and that is a huge hit. That is definitely going to break something on the right front of that car.
Just elected to drive through because the next set of corners, he just went flying over the curbing, clattered across them. So he isn't damaged enough to force him down, but his right front seen worse for wear. By the way, we're down to 4 on the lead lap here with about 6 laps to go here, coming up to 5. Right now, Jack Velasco's on the lead lap as they turn. 27 seconds to the next spot.
I think we're going to get one unlapped here pretty soon. Andrew Allen is at the same point in the run that the 48 of Michael Cole was when he came down. And when he comes down, I think there's a pretty decent chance that Hautala will get back on the lead lap. We'll see what Allen does here. If he needs to come down pit road or if he stays out. And he will dive it down pit road here. So this is likely going to be a fuel-only stop for Allen, although he could pit for 4 tires and he would still come out in the lead of this race. So there really isn't too much risk on this stop for your race leader. As he takes 5 to go, we'll see what he does in the pit lane. Is it fuel only or does he throw tires on it as well? Looking like a fuel only. Gas and go for the 96. Shorter pit stop than anybody else as well because he took less fuel than everybody else coming in later. He'll bring it back out in the lead, and as mentioned, Jackson Hautala will get that lap back. We'll be at 5 cars on the lead lap.
Not bad, and back it away for his stint. Wilson still maintains his position, by the way. Right now, 26 seconds of cushion to the lead, but he also has to the next spot back. 130. Oh, that's near trouble with Barnes. Barnes says sorry on the radio. That scared the 93 for a minute.
Get a replay on that here. Black Diamond Designs replay. We'll see what happened for a 23-7 car of Barnes. Oh, yep, loops it there through turn 1, and then he's going to have a scare here with someone else. Oh, yep, that is the 93 of Wilson. That's close.
Able to get on through. So damage again for the 27's front nose. After all the hard hits for them here tonight. Race sponsor Alex Pollock. He's doing a lot better than what he expected. He's not 5 laps down. He's only 2. He's also in the top 10.
Running out of laps here for Andrew Allen to make a mistake. He's done so well all race, managing this race, managing his lead, and he's only got about 7.5 minutes more racing to go. 4 laps to go at the line this time for that 96 car as he just tries to ride, blows it out, and get himself a big win at the Daytona Road Course in dominating fashion too. Went out, I think he's led every lap, started on the front row, and he is going to be the one who gets it done.
Dominating day for your race leader in Allen. How he's been able to drive this course here tonight. He has to make it around for a few more laps to be able to pick up his first win 2025 in the Mystic Racing League and its Cup Series. And the major thing too is making sure no issues with the traffic. Here's a look at his viewpoint once again. Racing in the dark. Just staying steady with that wheel with all the motion through the direct drive and being able to make his way through the gears while making sure he stays hydrated.
He's locked in on that wheel right now. Eyes not moving from the screen, not blinking. He is dialed in. He wants this win so badly in that 96 car, and he can taste it now. He's only 3 laps away. He's got a 25-second gap. He's done everything he needs to do to get that car to victory lane, and it's just a matter of time now. 3 more laps for that 96 car.
Just has to make it through for another 3 more circuits here at Daytona. What's been a great day for Allen overall. Started up front, has remained up front all throughout this one. Wilson still going to be in line for the podium too, so long as he doesn't make any major mistakes. He's been pretty solid on the road courses all season, showing why. As he makes his way, no issues to the course. So the rest of the drivers that you can give a shout, Michael Cole still holds on to 7th. Brad Nelson, despite being 2 down, still in the top 8 as well.
Yeah, Nelson is holding on to that 10th spot at the moment. It'll be Allen up front, and then Wilson, Wingfield, Janik, Haltala, Christian Barnes. Haven't mentioned him too much this race, but he'll bring it home P6 as things stand. He's got 45 seconds to Haltala in front of him and 50 seconds to Cole behind him, so not really any threat there for Christian Barnes to lose that 6th spot. As mentioned, it is Cole 7th, McKay 8th, Pollock, Nelson, Zukov, Wade, Kime, as Kime just crashed right now, but he is still 13th. Fisher and White are the rest of your field. White 7 laps down. He's made 5 pit stops. He's been around. He's been backwards. He has been facing in about every cardinal direction that it is possible to face here at Daytona. And he has still kept it on the track. He's finished ahead of all the cars who have gotten DQ'd and who have crashed out. And he'll get 15th tonight. So it could be a lot worse for that 77 car as Andrew Allen is going to come around this time. And when he does make it through the NASCAR chicane and get back out onto the front stretch, it'll be who to go.
2 laps to go in the Black Diamond Designs 240 here at Daytona. Allen ready to finish out this race as the clouds start to cover the racetrack. Does have some lap traffic ahead. He has a chance to lap Hatawa again. So that a couple other cars that have been lapped several times, and then it's clean sailing from there. See all the smoke being kicked up by some of these drivers still as they lock up in the corners.
You are never safe from lockups at this track. I think we've really proved that here tonight. It can be pretty easy to lock up these cars, and you've seen a couple cars do it pretty much constantly tonight through these corners. The 96 continues to make his way around. He'll be back out onto the oval here shortly. He's got 2 lap cars in front of him. That's Jeffrey Fisher, that's Jackson Hautala, and a little bit more up the road, he's got Kime and Wade in the 9 and 3, but I'm not sure if he'll get to those 2 by the time the race ends. He doesn't really need to do anything frantic to try to pass these lap cars. He's got a 24-second gap. He could honestly just stay behind him, and he would be just fine here coming down to the end of this race, so we'll see what he chooses to do.
Here we go with the traffic once again. Fisher lets him go. Able to survive to 14th place in the running order. But a lengthy road course race comes down to the final stretch. More traffic up the road still, but for Andrew Allen, coming up to the white flag this time by. Final time around here from Daytona. It's been one of the quickest races of the season so far. He looks to finish without any incident.
Yep, and he's got that massive lead going over Wilson in the 93 car, 24 seconds. Oh, he's got some problems with the lap cars. Off the track in front of him, that's Reggie Kime in the 9, giving him a bit of a fright. He's going to try to find a way around this 9 car here. This might get a little sketchy. Oh, Kime's off the track again. He's got slow cars side by side in front of him. That's Wade and Hautala. A lot of lap traffic as Andrew Allen tries to clinch off this win. He is probably clenching in that seat as he tries to get around these lap cars. It's a dive in on that 3 of Wade. He's clear. It's just Hautala left as Wade goes around. Good thing Allen passed him when he did.
Very lucky, absolutely, in terms of that situation. But still, Allen just has to be able to march his way through. FLM going to be excited about how things finished out here tonight. Just has to go left, right, a couple more times, and then it's clean sailing from here for Allen. He's had 3 seconds of fall off over the course of this run as of late. His average pace hasn't fallen off more than 1.1 seconds the past 5. Allen able to finish with some speed and ready to go to victory lane. Coming through the final corner. Andrew Allen puts up a dominating performance. He'll take the celebration here tonight. Your winner of the Black Diamond Designs 240 is FLM's Andrew Allen. He does it at Daytona.
He's pumped in that car. You can see it from the in-car there. Allen is excited to get this win here at the Daytona Road Course. Means a lot to him. He was kind of close at Sonoma, got a podium finish. He's showing he is always a threat at these road courses here tonight. And he's showing to watch out for him at Chicago next week as well.
Wilson having some slides to end out the race, but able to come away second. On at the top 3, going to be Rayshawn Winkfield. See the smoke kicked up by Wilson. Winkfield is looking to march his way through cleanly as he can. There he goes for the top 3.
And then Janik will be the next car here back in 4th. 28-second gap between Allen and Wilson is your final timing to end this race. Janik, this is a race that really could have been for him, and he is going to be disappointed to finish a minute behind the leader in 4th tonight. Andrew Allen, your race winner.
So Allen going to celebrate here in the next moments or so. It's a lengthy way around for burnout time for the 96. Just able to control things. The night went on. A few drivers still looking to finish out the runs also, mind you. Michael Cole still yet to finish off the race. Others just making the way. Yeah, just got to make their way around the racetrack. There's Cole. Able to come around the final corner. And he'll just pit.
There you go. I mean, he's at no risk of losing time. He's got a great gap to everybody in front of him. He can kind of do that. Just relax at this point. Allen will come around to do burnouts as Zach White is going to go about 20 miles an hour. And there we go. That is everybody cross the line. Andrew Allen is clear to start burning it down here on the front stretch.
Celebration time and a trip to Sofa News Victory Lane for your race winner tonight, Andrew Allen. A little bit of smoke as he turns the car around. It looks like he's going to try and go the whole front straight away if he can. No, he's just going to loop it around the fans near turn 1.
He's having some fun on that wheel. Look at that.
Putting in a lot of work to be able to do the burnouts here. There we go. It's the start and finish line. So a great race overall for Allen. He controlled this one with 41 out of the 42 laps, being led by the 96. Take it to a break. We come back, post-race results. You're watching the Mystic Racing League and its Cup Series, the Black Diamond Designs 240 from Daytona.
Drop it.
Welcome back to Ballin' TV for tonight's coverage of the Black Diamond Designs 240, the Mystic Racing League and its Cup Series, having a road course race here tonight. Let's take a look at the results. Once again, Allen over Wilson and Wingfield. We'll be speaking with some of those drivers next few moments. Evan Janik in 4th, Jackson Attell with the top 5, Barnes, Cole, McKay, Nelson, Pollock, your top 10 here, Sky.
Back in 11th tonight will be Alan Zukov, Reggie Kime, Michael Wade, Jeffrey Fisher, Zach White. Your top 15, Joshua Thornton DQ'd in 16, Joshua Gillen, Aaron S., Caleb Hunt, 17 through 19, Brett Rinn also taking a DQ in 20th.
21st goes to David Wire, Jared Knopsnyder. 22nd, Stephen Gill and Harold Tucker III. The rest of your entries here tonight, here at Daytona, the World Center of Racing. So, our drivers are standing on by to speak with us. Let's start things off with the race winner tonight. Andrew Allen gets the job done, Chevy guy gets himself a win for the first time this season. You're in Sofa News victory lane. How's it feel, Alan, to finally get this win?
About damn time. that was fun.
What about tonight made things different compared to the other races, in your opinion, on that speed?
Well, I've ran more laps at this track than any other track combined. Between preparing for 24-hour races, short sprint races, I run a lot of GT3 and prototypes here. This is by far one of my favorite tracks, and honestly my best track. I've spent countless hours just logging laps in here for no reason, just because I love this track.
So with that being said here, now how does that focus look for the rest of the season now that you're punched into the postseason?
Just keep doing the same thing I'm doing, consistent every week, running up front, trying to get wins. And I mean, if they come, they come. They don't, they don't. Just trying to be as consistent as possible. Try to get some more points, more stage wins, and see where we're at when we get to the playoffs.
Anyone you want to give a shout out to here tonight?
Teammates Joshua Thornton, which I have no idea what happened with him tonight, but we'll see. And Jackson Hatala is rooting me on. And then my wife for rooting me on next to me as well.
Congratulations on the win here tonight, Andrew.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Andrew Allen gets the job done here this evening. Second spot goes the way of Isaac Wilson. He is with Sky.
Isaac, you had a copy.
Yeah, what's up?
P2 tonight, but it was a little bit of an up and down race. You got in some incidents, but you still recovered to finish second. How do you feel?
I didn't get no incidents.
You had some close calls with a couple lap cars for sure.
Yeah, it's just lap traffic at Daytona. So I think the closest one was turn 1. That's about it.
Yeah, lap cars were, I think, a theme for a lot of the field tonight. Is it more difficult when you're having to pass so many slower cars?
Yes, because some of them are very unpredictable. So sometimes you just gotta expect what they're gonna do, and they can be unpredictable. I know there was one time someone braked super early going to the bus stop, and I was like, "Okay, you didn't have to give it up that way, but thanks, I guess."
All right.
I just wish some lap cars would understand. Just run your line, run your race. Us fast guys will work around you. When you become unpredictable, that's when mistakes happen and you get ran over.
Well, you're P2 tonight. We got another road course coming up next week at Chicago Street. Do you think this kind of helped prepare you for that at all? You think you can get a similar result?
I don't own that track. Plus, I'm doing a Watkins Glen next week, so I ain't gonna even try to buy that track. There's a reason I own it. That track is horrible. Can't wait for NASCAR to stop going there because dumbest idea ever. We're stock cars, not street cars. We don't belong on the streets. We belong on the track.
What is your favorite road course then?
In stock cars or just in iRacing?
I'd say stock cars for this series.
It's a toss-up between Glen and Sonoma. I like Sonoma, how difficult it is to drive, and of course, I don't know any stock car racer that's good at road course that doesn't like Watkins Glen. It's a NASCAR course, if you ask me. So, but this is my second time running it. I ran it Wednesday night in another league, so kind of came in here with a little bit of advantage. I kind of grown to like this one. That chicane gets a little tricky, but if you figure that chicane out, it's legit just running this track kind of like you would run a GT3 on here.
All right, well, you got Watkins Glen coming up in a few weeks, so excited for that one. Who do you have to thank tonight?
First and foremost, I got to thank my wife for letting me do this stuff every week. Gotta give a huge shout out to AWG. Of course, all the sponsors that sponsor AWG. You got a Bruisey Racewear, you got Sword Dog, Glitch Energy, Next Level Racing. For Next Level Racing, if you're looking to get a rig or anything like that, put in code AWG24 for a discount. You guys put on the show and the admins for putting up with our asses week in and week out.
All right, well, congrats on P2, Isaac Wilson.
Thank you.
We are going to send it back over to Justin now, who has caught up with our third place finisher, Rayshawn Wingfield.
Yes, indeed, Rayshawn, talk about tonight. It was an eventful one. How would you describe this evening in the 23 camp?
I mean, it was It was a race. I sit in top 5 all day. It's a pretty good day. Not really mad about anything. Just happy I finished.
How difficult was this race, especially when it came to the battling that we've seen around this racetrack?
I mean, this is my first road course race with the new next-gen car and the new tire model. I didn't know what to expect. I did a bunch of practice laps, but it didn't really translate to the race. But when you got around cars, like when you got like on the inside of a car, it felt like the car, like the tires were ice blocks. You couldn't turn. It would just snap loose on you. And I mean, there was fun battles all around the track. I mean, there's a few incidents, few hot-headed moments that could have been avoided, but it was all in all. I mean, top 3 finish at a road course, not my strong suit, but I'll take it.
So that being said, how do you approach the next race on the schedule, the next few races, in fact, with plenty of crown jewels coming up?
Just keep my head on straight, just don't mess up, really. Just don't, I think it's Indy in a couple of weeks. That's going to be 400 miles at a pretty big track. So it's going to be a long race. I'm just got to keep my head on for that race. Don't get too hot-headed. And then I think next week we go to Chicago street course, which, I mean, that's going to be a time, I guess. I don't know. But I just can't wait till we get done with this little stretch of road courses and get back to my ovals.
Any shout-outs you'd like to give here tonight?
Shout out to Daniel Plant Smith, Colin Bollinger. You gonna make it tonight? It's my dad's birthday. I love you, and that's about it.
Congratulations on the run.
Sure, thank you.
Once again, that is Rachel Wingfield rounding up the top 3. Top 3. Take time to speak on street post race coverage here on Ballin TV. The Chicago street course is an interesting one next. That's going to be very dicey for these competitors here, Sky.
It is. Chicago Street is going to be a tricky one, that's for sure. It's not a track a lot of people own, like Isaac Wilson mentioned, and it's not a track that a lot of people have laps on in iRacing. So it'll be really interesting to see how the Mystic Racing League field handles that one. Same time next week.
We'll see that June 27th, 8 p.m. the start time. Be sure to tune in. Once again, on Ballin TV. On that note, it's time to say goodbye. Mike, thank you for tuning in for tonight's coverage here from Daytona. For my co-announcer, Sky Shrek, for producer, DJ Lion, I'm Justin Prince saying so long. Enjoy the rest of your evening. You've been watching Ballin TV's coverage of the Mystic Racing League and the Black Diamond Designs 240. We'll see how things go next time out in Chicago.